What's going on, guys? So this is a review of the Pixel 7a. Despite going on a crusade of videos with the Pixel 7 Pro, the Pixel 7a is a sweet spot for where Google should market their phones. You know who had a sweet spot for the segment of the video? Our sponsor, nobody. Let's talk about the design and build quality of this phone. So the top is flat with a very minor curve at the edges. The back has the design that Google has solidified, with the visor being the cameras. The back is plastic, but in the hand it feels as if it was glass. It's also very dense in my hand, so it gives me that premium feeling of a flagship phone. You can definitely one-hand this phone as well due to its smaller size, and that made it enjoyable to use day to day. Moving over to the display, I'm overall pretty happy with it. It's an OLED screen that goes up to 90 Hz. 120 Hz would have been great, but anything is better than 60. 61 doesn't count. I wouldn't say the colors are as rich or as vivid as the Samsung device or even the bigger brother of the Pixel 7 Pro, but they're good enough given its price point. Now, I know we like to talk about nits and how bright a phone can get, and I don't have the exact number for the Pixel 7a. In fact, Google doesn't even say on their own technical specification sheet, but for outdoor use, it's usable. It gets bright enough, and I wasn't struggling to use this outdoors by any means. There's also a hole punch at the top to help with uniformity with it being directly in the middle, and I didn't find it distracting within minutes of using it. The bezels are somewhat thick, mainly the bottom portion, and if you're coming from a flagship phone, like let's say the Pixel 7 Pro for whatever reason, it might be jarring, but for the vast majority of people, the bezels are fine and I had no problem adjusting to them. One of the greatest strengths is the G2 processor, and I know a lot of people, including myself, bash on the G2 when Google markets this as a flagship processor when it doesn't perform like its flagship competitors, like the S23 Ultra or even the S22 Ultra. It's a strength because it's in a A-series phone. Since we have a smaller and not as bright display, lower refresh rate, meaning that it doesn't have to do as much, the G2 processor actually excels here. And I was getting close to all-day battery life with this due to its quote-unquote limitations compared to its competition. Due to the corners being cut, I had a better experience with this device than the others. The Fold is coming soon. If you want my first impressions and review on that, get sub to the channel. Another strength of the Pixel would be the cameras. We have two on the back, 64 megapixel for the main camera, 13 megapixels for the ultra wide. For the price point, this is where the Pixel punches above its weight class, and I was happy with all the photos that I took. Pixels have had average video quality, but for the 7 series, I would say the video quality is very good, and the options you have in terms of stabilization is a nice cherry on top. The front camera is also above average, I would say, but I don't take that many front camera shots unless it's like a group selfie or something. But it's an option, and I don't think most people are going to be disappointed with it. Now, I've said a lot of good things about this phone, and there has to be negatives somewhere, right? Now, the speakers are okay. And I say that because it's not like it's bad, but I always have to put it on max to hear anything. If I was like 3 notches below max, it's pretty hard to hear anything through these speakers. Despite a large slit being at the top of the display for the stereo speaker and the earpiece, it's just not a powerful speaker at all, and looks can be deceiving. Now, this next point doesn't just count for Pixel, but for a vast majority of Android devices, and it's the face unlock sucks at night. Yes, there is a fingerprint sensor, but it works like 70% of the time. So throughout the day, I primarily use my face to unlock the device, and then the evening and night, I use my finger to do the unlocking. Spec sheet also say one thing in terms of charging speeds, but when I come to charge this device, it's been pretty slow for some reason, especially when it comes to the wireless department. This next point is more of nitpicking at stock Android, and I'm not the biggest fan of the quick setting design. For me, the bubbles just take up too much space and everything kind of just gets squished together with the notifications right next to them as well. The haptics aren't that strong either, and there would be times where I wouldn't notice if someone texted me or if someone's calling me due to how weak the haptics are. But for the rest of the Pixel experience, software-wise, it was up and down. I would unlock my phone occasionally and it would just show a blank screen. And there would be other times where someone would call me and it would go under the spam detection, and I wouldn't realize it was an actual person that needed me until I went back on my voicemail. The phone doesn't heat up nearly as much as the experiences I've had with the Pixel 7 Pro, but it does get warm here and there. But when the Pixel is focused on performing to you, it performs pretty well. Now, given the price point of $500, you can easily find the Pixel 7a for $50 to up to $150 off on sales. I'd say the Pixel 7a might be the best Android here in America for its price point. Google has always given us value from their A lineup, and the 7a is no stranger to that. With all that being said, guys, I appreciate every single sub, like, and comment, and as always, guys, much love.